It is unbearable to accept when the most effective and reliable player in the club chooses the eternal rival side. For 5 years in Barcelona, Figo won 7 trophies and twice became the best foreign player of La Liga. He was the most technical player of his generation. When young Cristiano Ronaldo, being a player of Man United, was fooling several defenders in one trick, his speed and dribbling were compared to Figo's best years. But why did Figo, being the best midfielder in the world and the leader of Barcelona, take such a dangerous decision? If you're wondering till this day, do not forget to subscribe and let's geek it out! In fact, Figo did not want a Real move, but then Florentino Perez happened in his life. During the 2000 Real Madrid presidential election campaign, no one took Perez seriously. Florentino talked a lot about Real's dad, but nobody cared much about the commerce. Incumbent President Lorenzo Sanz won 2 Champions League titles in 3 years, so during those elections, Perez was an outsider. Florentino Perez needed to improve his chances, and he made contacts with Figo's agent to offer the Portuguese a ridiculously lucrative preliminary contract. Its main clauses were simple. If Florentino became the club's president, then he would pay Figo a 6 million euros salary, that is 6 times higher than in Barcelona, and plus a signing bonus of 2.5 million euros. And if Perez did not become a president, Figo would still receive 2.5 million euros in compensation. In the whole world, the only person who believed in Perez's victory was Perez himself. Most likely, Figo was inspired by Florentino's risky gamble and signed such a crazy preliminary contract. Seriously, who will refuse a gift of 2.5 million euros? In addition, the main star of Barcelona wanted to use that agreement with Real to put pressure on Barcelona's management. The Portuguese midfielder was one of the best players in the world, but his salary did not match such a status by far. However, the president of Barcelona treated the Figo's claims quite ironically, and here's why. Under the then contract, Luis's buyout clause constituted 62 million euros. At that time, it was almost 13 million more than the most expensive player in the world. Blaugrana's bosses believed that there was no madman in the world ready to pay such an insane amount of money, but they were wrong. Such a madman was running for the president of Real Madrid. At the summer meeting of the Royal Club functionaries, Florentino Perez announced that he would sign Figo, and when he was accused of lying, he showed a contract. Perez's trick amazed all of the fans of Real, and the level of their interest in the elections grew tenfold. In addition, the situation was quickly inflamed by the Spanish media. Everyone waited for Barca's comment, while the player himself received several threats. To better understand how the transfer summer of 2000 looked like, just imagine that in the following July, Sergio Ramos suddenly moves to Atletico Madrid and Antoine Griezmann goes in the opposite way. But Luis reassured everyone of his loyalty and said that he was not planning a Real move. Actually, he was telling the truth at the time. And now, you dear football fans, need to focus on one important detail. We base our episode on the words of Figo's friends at the time of his transfer. Usually, such information gets quickly distorted by controversial rumors. So, according to the major version, Figo just carelessly studied the contract, where allegedly there was written a separate clause that demanded the following: if Perez becomes the Real's president and Figo refuses to move, the midfielder will have to return 35 million euros as a fine. But we do not believe in such carelessness of a professional football player, and even let's say Figo missed this point, where was his agent then? So instead, we adhere to the following course of events. It is important to remember what were Perez's chances of winning the elections. The previous president twice won the Champions League, and there was no particular reason not to choose him again. No one, including Figo and his agents, believed in the victory of Florentino, and such a scenario, to be honest, sounds more trustworthy. A few days before the elections, Figo realized that he got a risky affair. Luis told his agent Jose Vega that he did not want a Real Madrid move. Figo could still get off with a whole skin and remain in Catalonia with a clean reputation. He was a Barca player and could not conclude another contract. So Jose Vega was the only one allowed to negotiate with Real Madrid. At the time, players and agents did not sign contracts and resolved issues between themselves with a handshake. According to the then existing football laws, Luis Figo owed nothing neither to his agent nor Real Madrid. In the end, it was Jose Vega who missed the controversial clause. However, Figo just did not want to put his friend on the line and agreed to probably the most controversial transfer in the football history. Yes, we do understand that perhaps Luis Figo did not move to Real Madrid solely to save his friendship. Of course, there were other reasons. Figo did not like the uncertainty of the Barcelona's management regarding pay raises. Finally, he wanted success in the Champions League, which at the time was dominated by Las Blancas. Almost 20 years later, do you believe that Figo did a right move? Please share your thoughts in the comment section and do not forget to subscribe, as our next episode is on its way.